The House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol has subpoenaed former President Donald Trump.
For more on this, we're being joined now by CBS 4's Skylar Henry in Washington, D.C. Skylar, tell us more about what this subpoena entails.
Hey, Lauren and Elliot, good to be with you both. Well, part of that subpoena reads that members feel as if they have overwhelming evidence that shows that the former president not only orchestrated but was also involved with the multi-pronged effort to try to overturn the 2020 presidential election. And so now they are calling on him to testify under oath. We have yet to hear from the former president on whether he is willing to do so, but they're calling on him to do so by November 14th. Now, part of that testimony, they're also requesting documents that would also include personal communications between the former president and any members of Congress, perhaps even extremist groups as well. Of course, this is coming today, where we also saw the former advisor to the president, Steve Bannon, gets sentenced to 4 months in prison for his not wanting to be involved with this January 6th committee in terms of cooperating. And so a lot of things happening in the Trump orbit, but it still remains to be seen exactly how the former president will respond. But the other thing to remember, Lauren and Elliot, this committee only has until the end of the calendar year in order to get their work done. And remember, they also have to have that final written report from their investigation as well. And so the clock is certainly ticking on what they do next.
Yeah, so they only have until the end of the year. They've issued the subpoena. But what happens, Skylar, if former President Trump decides not to respond to it?
Sure. Well, this could certainly be one of those instances that we've seen in the past with Steve Bannon, as I mentioned before, and others close to the former president, where the committee chooses to send this to the full House for a vote. Contempt of Congress would be the charge there. And then, of course, it would be up to the full House whether they decide to come all the way back to Capitol Hill and vote there and then, possibly charge the former president. Still too far out to say whether that would happen or not. We could also see something that we've seen in the past with Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, in terms of working behind the scenes with the committee, not necessarily a public spectacle that we've been seeing in other public hearings for January 6th. And so a lot of moving parts that we could see. But remember, as I said, there are only a few weeks left until the end of the year. So whatever the former president decides to do, it would have to be quickly.
And we'll be keeping tabs on all of it as that clock is ticking. Skylar Henry live for us in Washington, D.C.